We're on the phone today. I forgot my camera at the house, but I'm on my way down to Leading Edge right now. I got all the injectors that are going to be swapped into the Z06. Yesterday, they messaged me and they said, hey, we did the compression test. It was good. The leak down test was good. And I guess they used a different scanner than what they used the first time, where it was showing no issues with the injectors. Now the injector issue popped up. They said it was cylinder 1 and cylinder 6 that were having the issues. They asked if I wanted to just clean them or if I just wanted to replace those 2 injectors. I said, nah, let's replace all 8, get a fresh start, a fresh set of injectors. That way I don't have to worry about this in the future. Drop them off, they'll swap them in, and fingers crossed, that should fix the issue and the Z06 will be good to go. What year is the Cutlass?
71. 6.2 newer vet.
Oh my goodness. This is clean. I'm assuming you did most of this?
Yeah.
Incredible. So is LT1 or it's LS3?
Yeah, LT1.
That intake is massive. I almost thought it was a charge pipe from a turbo, but I don't see any turbos. Long tubes. No, they're not even long tubes. They're shorties. I really like those valve covers a lot.
Yeah, they're nice.
What are those, Motion Raceworks?
I think those are speed engineering.
I like that intake. That BTR is so nice. What is it called? The Trinity or something like that?
Trinity, yeah.
The Trinity intake. That's the 10-speed from the Camaro. That's crazy.
Got the 10-speed tap shifter so you can tap up, tap down shift with it.
That's so cool. These CCWs are beautiful. Wow. And the Willwoods.
We wanted something classy, but made it look more modern. You know?
No, honestly, I think it's like the perfect mix between modern and like old school, because you have like, honestly, it's an old school color. Like you don't see newer cars with this anymore, and then you have the LT, obviously, and then the 10-speed, but
Yeah, it's all cool.
it's still rag top and everything.
Suspension, so
Really?
Wanted some fitting wheels for nice suspension. So.
No, yeah, this is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow. Is there a cam in it? I was gonna say, that doesn't sound stock. Sounds healthy. Sounds really healthy. And this is Garth's car, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
We've been building this thing for years. It's just been kind of piecing together.
Right, yeah, because last time I was here, I seen it, and I'm like, man, that thing is beautiful.
That's an expensive motor in there. So the motor's set up for the 1600 to 1800 horsepower. It's like RSS 6-bolt block. Just it's a gnarly motherfucker. It'll make probably 1500 horsepower on medium boost, basically. The main factor on this one is we're not putting any sort of transmission in it. We just have a built TR6060. So it'll still be a stick car. So he's gonna keep it kind of street and go from there.
So gangster. So she's good?
Yeah, we'll throw some injectors in it. It's all, leak down, passed out good.
That was my main concern, was the leak down. I was like, oh man, if there's something wrong with the valve train, or if the rings were letting compression by, like I didn't want any blow by. I was really nervous.
No, like I said, for some reason,
especially with the boost and everything, I was like, ugh.
When we first got the car in, it wouldn't let me do that cylinder balance test. But as soon as I reset the battery, it let me do that. And immediately, as soon as we did that test, I could see that the number 6 injector was
really
a little bit more. So
it was putting more fuel.
Dumping more. Number 1 was under fueling. Number 6 was over fueling, and then the rest were all balanced out. So it's pretty common on these LTs to plug up the injectors, especially the LT4, because it puts out more heat.
Right.
So it just
right.
fries those injectors being in the cylinders. So
I'm surprised that it didn't show up on anything. No check engine light.
What it is on these computers are so fast at calculating the fueling that even though it's running a little bit lean,
it just auto corrects it that quickly.
It and doesn't detect it as a misfire.
That makes,
even though that it is a misfire, it's just so fast at readjusting itself that it doesn't catch the misfire.
They got the Corvette all done. Got the key right here. Let's fire it up. Let's make sure this thing is running good before I pay this hefty bill. It already sounds way better. Where's the stupid hood thing? There it is. And the engine itself actually sounds like it quieted down somewhat as well. It was a lot louder than that. It actually ticked much louder than that. So right off the bat, I'm noticing that the direct injection, even though they do make noise, it's much quieter. I feel bad for Keenan. He was the dude that was working on the car. All right, so just sitting out here idling, the exhaust note sounds much better, and just the feel of the car, like when I would sit in the car before we did all of this, like I said, it was just shaking a little bit too much. You could feel it in the chassis. You could see it if the door or the hood was open, it just moving, and it's idling much smoother. As you guys saw, I just did a pull down the road. Felt great, it pulled hard. I think we're good to go. So let me get this car home. Just check over everything one more time, make sure nothing is loose or any hose is cracked. The only thing that he said that could be left potentially to cause a weird like huffing or poofing out of the exhaust and you're holding the RPMs at a certain level would be the ignition coils, which I did plugs, I did the wires, they just did the fuel injectors. So I might just go ahead and just do a brand new set of ignition coils. They're not too much, they're about, I don't know, 60 bucks a piece, something close to the injectors, but they're super easy to replace. It's a connector, just pull the connector off, unbolt the 2 little 10 mils and just swap it right back on. So I'm happy with the car. Cost me a little bit, but Garth, Keenan, Ian, the dudes over at Leading Edge really took care of me. They got it done quick, and that's all I could ask for. So that's a successful little update for the Vet, and I can't wait to start driving this thing and making some more content with it. These are the injectors that came out of the car, and they're not looking too good. So these are the 2 injectors that are the worst. If you see right on the tip where the atomizer is, these things have a lot of carbon buildup, especially for a fuel injector. So I'm starting to think that this engine might have a little bit of carbon buildup, whether it's on the valves or on top of the pistons. These are direct injection engines, and so they don't get fuel sprayed onto the valves, and they just tend to build up carbon, especially if you're not driving the car hard, if you're using bad gas or like letting gas sit, whatever. So I might have to do some type of decarbonization on this thing. I know I'm probably being a little bit paranoid and kind of over the top, but this is a very expensive engine. I cannot afford to replace this engine, and I really don't want to rebuild it just because I like the OEM feel of the engine, you know what I mean? So whether I do a cam, I'll tackle the decarbonization, or if it gets bad enough, then I'll do that. But for now, I think I'm just going to enjoy the car. I'm just going to drive it around, drive it hard. Maybe I can clear some of that carbon out and fix those issues. But I mean, I've done pretty much everything that I can. I got new plugs, new plug wires. I got brand new fuel injectors. I might just do the ignition coils just to do them, just to say, you know, have peace of mind that those are done and not an issue. But yeah, this is not looking too good. I'm not happy to see this. That is the reservoir for the coolant for the supercharger. As you can see, there's a lot more air in that reservoir than there's supposed to be. So we got to go down to Chevy. I'm gonna go pick up some coolant, and I want to get a couple of tools, because you can't just put coolant in these things. You have to bleed them. And this is where you bleed it from. You pop this off, you stick like a fitting on there, and then you just bleed it like you would a regular radiator or a cooling system. I'm gonna have to jerry rig some stuff. It might be ghetto, but if it works, it works. We gotta go figure something out on how we can get that to work. So Harbor Freight it is. I'm at a Chevrolet dealership, right? And I go in there and I'm like, hey, I just need some Dex Cool. I'm doing the supercharger flush on the coolant system, or well, I'm adding to it. And I'm like, hey, just out of curiosity, are you able to tell me how many quarts that whole system takes? Because I might just flush it, just get all brand new stuff. He's like, nope. I said, you can't tell me that? It doesn't say like in your computer? He's like, nope. I said, okay. Well, can you tell me if it's 50-50 or like 40-60 or something? Nope. It's like, bro, why are you here then? Obviously, I could get these answers off Google. I know what it needs. I just want to know how much. They can't even tell me that, bro. It's like, what? It just doesn't make sense to me, dude. All right, so we got everything that I think I'm gonna need. We got a 1-inch inner diameter tube. We got a vacuum bleeder over at Harbor Freight. Went to Chevy, got the coolant. I'm gonna heat this thing up. I'm gonna stick it over that little port. We gotta figure out how to get this thing hooked up so we can pull some vacuum on this so we get all the air out and get the coolant in. So let me figure that out really quick. Let me heat that up, get it on there, and then we will get started. I don't wanna burn it, but I need to get it warm enough to where it's like pliable and I can just kind of push fit over that little port. Oh, money! Look at that. They say that you're supposed to use an 1 1/8 inner diameter, but I was at Home Depot and all I could find was 1 inch. So I figured I could heat it up and make it work. Bro, this looks so stupid. No! Oh, that's unfortunate. Probably should have seen that one coming. It's a full jug. It's gonna be filled to the top. Supposedly it's this 15 amp fuse right here. We pull that, and then we gotta hook a jumper to the terminal that's closest to the firewall, and then we connect it to the positive battery terminal right here. Oh, there we go! It worked! All right, I'm gonna mess with this for a few minutes. I'm gonna turn the pump on and off, just get the coolant flowing, try to get all the air out, and I'll catch up with you guys in just a minute. Well, I did everything that I could. I tried as hard as I could. I got a lot of air out, but there's still some air in there that I just cannot seem to get out. So I gotta use a vacuum bleeder. As you guys know, I bought the vacuum bleeder kit, but it doesn't have the attachment that I need. I need to put something right on the tip of this tube so I can start putting vacuum to it, and nothing that came in the kit is big enough to do that. So I gotta get this little thing. It's like a plug, and then it has a vacuum port on the end, and you can just pull vacuum through it. That should be big enough to stick in this tube so where it's sealed up nice. But I gotta order one of these, so when it gets here, I'll do that. All right, well, I guess we'll just end the video off here since I do have to order that part. Probably gonna take a couple days to get in, but I tried my best. I'm happy though. I picked up the vet from the shop. We got the fuel injectors swapped out. The leak down test came in perfectly. Super happy about that. I got a good engine. It's ready to rip. It's ready to make some more power. So it was a good day overall. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.